My beloved child, you've been wondering why I've been so quiet while they attacked you, why I let them seemingly win for so long. Today I'm going to show you my strategy, and you're going to understand why I waited. I know you're here because someone has hurt you deeply. Maybe it's that coworker who stole credit for your ideas and got the promotion that should have been yours. They sit in meetings now, presenting your concepts as their own, while you watch from the sidelines, wondering if anyone will ever discover the truth. Perhaps it's that friend who betrayed your trust and spread your secrets to everyone who would listen. The person who knew your vulnerabilities, your fears, your dreams, and used that intimate knowledge as ammunition against you. Now you can't walk into certain rooms without feeling the weight of whispered conversations and knowing looks. Maybe it's that family member who has made your life miserable for years, always finding new ways to tear you down. They've mastered the art of making their cruelty look like concern, their manipulation appear as help. They've turned other family members against you, painted you as the problem, made you question your own reality. Or maybe it's that person who wronged you so badly that you can't even speak their name without feeling your blood pressure rise. The betrayal was so deep, so calculated, so devastating that it changed the trajectory of your entire life. You've prayed about them every single day. You've asked me to stop them, to expose them, to make them pay for what they've done to you. You've begged me to intervene, to show up with fire and brimstone, to demonstrate my power in a way that leaves no doubt about who's really in charge. You've wondered if I even care about the injustice you're facing. You've questioned whether I see what they're doing to you, whether I understand how much they've hurt you, whether I'm ever going to do anything about it. In your darkest moments, you've wondered if I'm even real, or if I'm just watching from a distance, unmoved by your pain. And through it all, I've seemed silent, absent, like I'm not paying attention or like I don't care enough to act, like I've forgotten about you while your enemies celebrate their victories. But what if I told you that my silence wasn't absence? What if I told you that my waiting wasn't indifference? What if I told you that every day they thought they were winning was actually another day I was setting up their ultimate, complete, and total defeat? Your enemy is about to become your footstool, and today you're going to understand exactly how I make that happen. My dear child, I need you to understand something about how I operate that most people never grasp. Something that will change how you see every battle you face from this day forward. I don't just defeat your enemies, I use your enemies to position you for promotion. Think about this carefully. If I simply destroyed everyone who came against you the moment they raised their hand, what would that accomplish? Yes, the immediate threat would be gone, but you would remain exactly where you are. The position you're in, the level you're on, the influence you have, none of that would change. You'd be safe, but you wouldn't be elevated. But when I use your enemies as stepping stones to your elevation, everything changes. Not only are they defeated, but you are promoted. Not only is justice served, but you are positioned for greater influence, greater authority, greater blessing than you had before the attack ever began. When David was running from King Saul, hiding in caves, feeling abandoned and hunted, he couldn't see what I was doing. All he could see was a crazy king trying to kill him for no reason. David looked at his circumstances and saw nothing but chaos, danger, and uncertainty. He felt forgotten, forsaken, and alone. But I was using Saul's persecution to train David for kingship. Every day David spent running from Saul was another day he was learning leadership under pressure. Every time he had to move his men to safety was a lesson in strategic thinking. Every moment he chose mercy over revenge was character development for the throne he would one day occupy. Saul thought he was destroying David's future. Saul believed he was eliminating the threat to his kingdom. But actually, Saul was my unwitting training instructor, preparing David for the responsibility of ruling an entire nation. The very persecution that was meant to end David's story was actually the preparation for the greatest chapter of his life. The same thing is happening in your life right now, and I need you to see it. That person who has been making your life difficult, who has been creating obstacles at every turn, who has been working against you behind the scenes, they think they're destroying you. They believe they're eliminating your potential, crushing your dreams, ending your influence. They go to sleep at night satisfied that they've put you in your place, that they've shown you who's really in charge. But they have no idea that they're actually my training instructor, preparing you for your next level. Every challenge they've created for you has been developing strength you didn't know you had. Every problem they've caused has been teaching you skills you'll need for your destiny. Every attack they've launched has been building character you'll require for the authority I'm preparing to give you. Here's what your enemy doesn't understand, and here's what I need you to grasp today. You can't promote someone who hasn't been tested. You can't give authority to someone who hasn't learned to handle pressure. You can't elevate someone who hasn't proven they can maintain their character under attack. So I allow your enemies to test you, not because I enjoy watching you suffer, but because I'm preparing you for something they could never imagine. While they're focused on tearing you down, I'm using their attacks to build you up. While they're trying to limit your influence, I'm expanding your capacity for greater influence. Your enemy thinks they're writing your story, but they're actually just a character in my story for your life. Let me tell you what's really happening behind the scenes while your enemy thinks they're winning, because this is where my strategy becomes clear, and this is where their defeat becomes inevitable. First, every attack they make against you is being recorded in my books. And I don't mean just recorded like a simple list. I mean recorded with details, with context, with evidence, and with interest accumulating daily. Every lie they tell about you, every opportunity they steal from you, every tear they cause you to cry, every night they rob from your sleep, it's all being documented in perfect detail. They think their actions are happening in secret, that no one really knows what they're doing, that they can manipulate the narrative and control how people see the situation. But every word they speak against you in private is heard by me. Every scheme they hatch in darkness is illuminated by my light. Every move they make against you is being tracked with precision that would amaze you. And here's what they don't understand about my justice system. I don't just require payback, I require payback with interest. What they've taken from you, they will restore multiplied. The pain they've caused you will be returned to them intensified. The humiliation they've brought to your life will become their own shame, but magnified. Second, while they're focused on hurting you, I'm busy building your platform. Think about this. They're spending all their time, energy, and resources trying to tear down what you have. But I'm spending my unlimited power, wisdom, and resources building something for you that they don't even know exists. They're so busy looking backward at what they think they've taken from you that they can't see forward to what I'm preparing for you. They're celebrating the small victory of knocking you down from where you were, completely unaware that where you were was nothing compared to where I'm taking you. Every day they waste energy trying to destroy you is another day I'm constructing the foundation for your comeback. While they're plotting your downfall, I'm blueprinting your elevation. While they're focused on your past, I'm architecting your future. Third, their success against you has an expiration date, but your comeback is eternal. What they've built through manipulation, lies, betrayal, and deceit can't last because it's built on a foundation of sand. There's no integrity in their structure, no truth in their foundation, no righteousness in their framework. When storms come, and storms always come, everything they've built will collapse because it was never built to last. Their position was gained through corruption. Their influence was purchased through compromise. Their success was achieved through sin. And everything that comes from darkness eventually gets exposed by light. But what I'm building for you is built on rock. It's established in righteousness, founded on truth, constructed with integrity. Can't be shaken because my work can't be moved. Can't be stolen because my gifts can't be transferred. Can't be destroyed because my plans can't be thwarted. Here's the most important thing your enemy doesn't know, and I want you to write this down in your heart. The very position they think they've secured by hurting you is actually the position I'm preparing for you. That job they manipulated their way into through lies and backstabbing, I'm preparing you to be their boss. That relationship they destroyed between you and someone else through gossip and manipulation, I'm bringing you someone better, someone more loyal, someone more aligned with your destiny. That reputation they tried to ruin through slander and false accusations, I'm about to make your name known for all the right reasons. Your enemy climbed up by stepping on you, but they climbed up to a throne that has your name on it. They just don't know it yet. They think they've reached their destination, but they've actually just arrived at your waiting room. Now let me explain to you the footstool principle, because this is how I've always operated throughout history, and this is the pattern you're about to see play out in your own life. A footstool serves one purpose, to elevate someone else. It exists not for its own glory, not for its own comfort, not for its own benefit, but to lift up the person who uses it. It's designed to be stepped on, to be used as a platform, to provide the foundation for someone else's elevation. But when Moses led them out, they didn't leave empty-handed. They left with all of Egypt's wealth: gold, silver, precious stones, everything of value that their oppressors had accumulated. Their oppressors became their provision. Egypt became their footstool. The very nation that enslaved them became the source of their wealth for the journey to their promised land. Remember Daniel? His enemies tricked the king into throwing him into the lion's den because they were jealous of his influence, his wisdom, his favor with the king. They couldn't compete with his excellence, so they decided to eliminate the competition through deception and manipulation. They thought they had eliminated their problem when they watched Daniel being lowered into that den. They probably went home that night celebrating, convinced they had secured their positions by removing the threat to their advancement. But the next morning, when Daniel walked out of that den completely untouched, those same enemies were thrown to the lions themselves. And Daniel wasn't just restored to his position, he was promoted even higher. His enemies became his footstool, their attack against him became the very reason for his elevation. This is my pattern throughout history. I take what the enemy meant for your destruction and use it as the foundation for your elevation. Your enemy's attack against you has actually created the very opportunity for your promotion. The position they knocked you out of wasn't your destination. It was just a stepping stone to where I'm really taking you. The influence they tried to steal from you wasn't your ceiling. It was just your starting point for the greater influence I'm preparing to give you. And that's exactly what your enemy is about to become: a stepping stone to your elevation, a platform for your promotion, a foundation for your rise to the next level. This isn't a new concept that I just invented for your situation. This is my pattern throughout history, my signature move in the lives of my people, my specialty in the realm of justice and vindication. Remember Joseph? His brothers threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery because they were jealous of his dreams. They couldn't stand the idea that their younger brother might one day be elevated above them, so they decided to destroy his future before it could unfold. They thought they had buried his dreams in that pit. They believed they had sold his destiny along with his body. They went home and told their father that Joseph was dead, and they lived with that lie for years, convinced they had solved their problem permanently. But those same brothers who tried to bury his dreams eventually bowed down to him when he became second in command of Egypt. The very people who threw him in a pit to destroy him ended up coming to him to save their lives during the famine. They became his footstool, not because I forced them to, but because their own actions led them to a place where they needed what only Joseph could provide. Remember how the Israelites were enslaved in Egypt for 400 years. Pharaoh thought he was crushing them permanently, breaking their spirit, ensuring they would never rise up against Egyptian power. Generation after generation, he worked them harder, treated them worse, convinced that he was maintaining control through oppression. I know you've been wondering about my timing, and this is perhaps the most difficult part of my strategy for you to understand. Why haven't I acted sooner? Why did I let them hurt you for so long? Why didn't I stop them before they did so much damage? Why does it seem like I'm always late to the party when it comes to defending my children? Here's the truth about divine timing that I need you to understand. I don't move when you want me to move. I move when my movement will have maximum impact. If I had stopped your enemy too early, several things would have happened that would have actually worked against your best interests. First, you wouldn't have been ready for what I wanted to give you. The position I'm preparing for you requires a level of character, wisdom, and strength that you didn't have before this trial began. The authority I'm about to place in your hands demands a depth of understanding about human nature, about spiritual warfare, about my ways that could only come through experience. Second, if I had intervened too soon, you wouldn't have developed the skills, the relationships, the reputation you needed for your next level. Every challenge your enemy created forced you to find solutions you never would have discovered otherwise. Every obstacle they placed in your path taught you to navigate difficulties with grace and wisdom. Every attack they launched against your character proved your integrity in ways that no peaceful season ever could. But there's another reason I waited, and this one might surprise you. I wanted your enemy to dig their own grave as deep as possible. Think about it this way. If someone celebrates your downfall for one day, and then I restore you, their embarrassment lasts one day. But if someone celebrates your downfall for years, building their entire identity around your defeat, and then I restore you in spectacular fashion, their humiliation is complete and permanent. Their victory party is about to become their funeral, and the longer the party lasted, the more devastating the funeral will be. Let me paint you a detailed picture of what's coming, because I want you to see it before it happens so you'll recognize it when it arrives, and so you'll understand that none of it is coincidence or luck. It's all divine intervention on your behalf. First, the truth about what they did to you is going to come to light in ways they never expected. All those lies they told about you, all those schemes they thought were secret, all that manipulation they thought no one would ever discover, it's all coming out. And it's not going to come out quietly or privately. It's going to be exposed in the most public, most humiliating way possible. The same people who believed their lies about you are going to see them for who they really are. The same platforms they used to destroy your reputation are going to become the stages for their exposure. The same mouths that spread their falsehoods about you are going to be the ones forced to speak the truth about their character. Second, the very thing they used to hurt you is going to become the thing that elevates you. If they spread lies about your character, your integrity is about to be proven in such a spectacular way that everyone will see the contrast between your truth and their deception. If they questioned your competence, you're about to demonstrate excellence that makes their mediocrity obvious. If they stole your opportunity, I'm about to give you a better opportunity that they could never access, never earn, never deserve. Every lie they told about you became another shovel full of dirt in their own pit. Every scheme they plotted against you became another nail in their own coffin. Every day they celebrated your downfall was another day they were setting themselves up for a harder fall. You see, when I finally move against your enemies, I don't just want to defeat them. I want to defeat them so thoroughly that they never think about coming against you again. I want their downfall to be so complete, so devastating, so obviously connected to their treatment of you that it becomes a warning to anyone else who might consider crossing you. I want their defeat to be so spectacular that people will say, I remember what happened to the last person who came against them. I don't want any part of that. I want their reversal to be so dramatic that your name becomes associated with divine protection, and smart people will think twice before they decide to make you their enemy. The longer I wait to move, the more spectacular the reversal when it comes. Your enemy has been celebrating for months, maybe years. They've been telling people how they beat you, how they outmaneuvered you, how they showed you who's boss. They've been building their reputation on your destruction, making their success story about your failure. All of that celebration is about to turn into humiliation when I reveal what I've really been doing. All of that boasting is about to become embarrassment when the truth comes to light. All of that confidence is about to crumble when they realize they weren't fighting against you. They were fighting against me. The weapon they formed against you is not only going to fail, it's going to backfire so completely that it becomes the very instrument of your promotion. The trap they set for your failure is going to become the platform for your success. Third, they're going to need something from you. This is the part that might surprise you the most. The person who hurt you, who betrayed you, who worked against you, is going to find themselves in a position where they need your help, your forgiveness, your favor, your influence, your resources. It might be a job recommendation that only you can provide. It might be a connection that only you can make. It might be forgiveness that only you can offer. It might be mercy that only you can extend. But whatever it is, they're going to realize that the person they tried to destroy is the only person who can save them. This is when they become your footstool, when they realize that their future depends on your favor. Fourth, everyone who watched your humiliation is going to witness your vindication. The same people who saw you fall are going to see you rise. The same audience that witnessed your defeat is going to watch your victory. The same crowd that heard their lies about you is going to see my truth about you. And they're not just going to see you restored to where you were before. They're going to see you elevated beyond anything you had before the attack began. Your comeback isn't going to be a return to your previous position. It's going to be an advancement to a position you never could have reached without going through this trial. But here's what I need you to understand. When that moment comes, when they're at your feet asking for mercy, when they need your favor to survive, when they're forced to acknowledge that you were right and they were wrong, I need you to respond like I would respond. I need you to show them the same mercy I've shown you. I need you to forgive them the same way I've forgiven you. I need you to extend the same grace to them that I've extended to you. This doesn't mean you have to trust them again. This doesn't mean you have to be best friends. This doesn't mean you have to put yourself in a position where they can hurt you again. But it does mean you have to release the bitterness, let go of the revenge fantasies, and allow my justice to run its course without trying to add your own punishment to mine. When you show mercy to your enemies, you prove that you're ready for the authority I want to give you. As your enemy is about to become your footstool, I need to prepare you for what's coming next. Because defeating your enemies is just the beginning. The real purpose is your elevation, your promotion, your advancement to the next level of influence and authority in my kingdom. First, I need you to forgive them now, before you see their downfall. This is crucial because if you wait until they're defeated to forgive them, it won't be real forgiveness. It will just be pity or superiority. I need you to release them from your heart while they still think they're winning, while they're still celebrating your defeat, while they still believe they got away with what they did to you. Forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of bitterness. It's about releasing yourself from the burden of carrying their debt. It's about choosing to trust my justice instead of trying to execute your own. When you forgive them before their defeat, you're saying, I trust God to handle this situation better than I could handle it myself. You're declaring that your peace doesn't depend on their punishment, that your joy doesn't require their suffering, that your victory doesn't need their defeat to be complete. Second, I need you to pray for their salvation, not their destruction. Yes, I'm going to deal with what they did to you. Yes, there will be consequences for their actions. Yes, justice will be served. But I don't want them destroyed. I want them transformed. I want their defeat to lead to their redemption. I want their humiliation to produce their humility. I want their fall to become their opportunity to find me in a real way, perhaps for the first time in their lives. Pray that when they hit rock bottom, they look up and find me waiting for them. Pray that their consequences become their conversion. Pray that their judgment leads to their repentance. Third, I need you to start preparing for your promotion. Stop living like a victim and start living like the victor you're about to become. Stop talking about what they did to you and start talking about what I'm about to do through you. Stop rehearsing your pain and start planning for your purpose. The position you're about to step into requires a different level of thinking, a different level of character, a different level of faith. You can't take victim mentality into victory territory. You can't carry bitterness into blessing season. You can't drag unforgiveness into your promised land. Your elevation is directly connected to your ability to rise above what they did to you. Start speaking like the person you're about to become. Start thinking like the leader you're about to be. Start acting like the authority you're about to carry. Your footstool is almost ready, and when it is, you need to be ready to step up. My beloved child, I want to make you a promise that you can take to the bank, write in stone, and build your future on. Your enemy will become your footstool, and it's going to happen sooner than you think. Some of you will see this reversal in weeks. The truth about what they did will come out suddenly. Their schemes will backfire spectacularly, and their victory will turn to defeat faster than they can comprehend. One day they'll be celebrating, and the next day they'll be scrambling to save their reputation, their position, their relationships. Others will see it in months. I'm using this time to position all the pieces perfectly, to make sure that when the reversal comes, it's complete and permanent. I'm arranging circumstances, aligning people, orchestrating events so that their downfall becomes the foundation for your elevation. And some of you will see it in a year or two because I'm preparing something so big for you, so significant, so influential that it takes time to arrange all the elements. But when it comes, it will be worth every day you waited, every tear you cried, every night you lost sleep over their attacks. But regardless of the timeline, I promise you that justice is coming. I promise you that what they meant for evil, I will turn for good. I promise you that they will regret the day they decided to come against you. I promise you that your comeback will be greater than their attack. I promise you that your elevation will be higher than their fall. And most importantly, I promise you that this situation will end with your enemy acknowledging that you were blessed by the Almighty God, and they made a mistake when they chose to fight against you. The same mouth that spoke lies about you will speak the truth about my favor on your life. The same hands that worked against you will work to restore what they took. The same people who counted you out will count themselves privileged to know you. Your enemy is about to become your footstool, and when they do, the whole world will know that you serve the God who fights for you. My precious child, as we end today, I want you to do something for me. I want you to stop looking at your enemy as your problem and start seeing them as my project. I want you to stop worrying about when I'm going to move and start trusting that I'm already moving. I want you to stop trying to figure out how I'm going to do it and start believing that I will do it. Your enemy's time is up. Your footstool is ready. Your elevation is coming. And when it happens, not if it happens, but when it happens, remember this conversation. Remember that I told you it was coming. Remember that I never forgot about the injustice you suffered. Remember that I always have the final word. Remember that I am the God who makes dead things live again. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes. I am the God who turns your enemies into your footstool. Your enemy is about to become your footstool because you belong to the God who specializes in impossible reversals. Trust me, watch me work, and get ready to step up. Amen.